This is part 3 of bar graph and histogram. So we're looking at number 6 in the packet. It says the following table gives the name of 43 presidents and their ages when first inaugurated. Since age is a quantitative variable, a histogram is appropriate to display the distribution of the data. A histogram uses bars like bins, like a bar graph. So a histogram is like a bar graph. However, the horizontal axis, remember that is side to side, is a portion of a number line, and the bars touch, unlike the data in a bar graph. So the only time there would be a gap in your histogram is if there's a gap in the data. So looking at this down here, it says Barack Obama was inaugurated as the 44th president of the United States when he was 47, one of the youngest presidents in American history. Obama is the 44th president, but only 43 presidents are listed based on their age when first inaugurated. Cleveland served 2 non-consecutive terms and is listed for only the first term. All right, so we have all of our presidents and their age listed on this data table. So let's flip this over and identify what A is. So A says identify the minimum and maximum ages and determine the range of the data. All right, so the minimum age based off the data here is going to be 42. That's the minimum. And the maximum age is 69. So the way that we're going to find range equals the maximum minus the minimum. So we're going to say 69 minus 42, and we get 27. So 27 is our range. Now we're going to need to complete the frequency table with the data that was provided in this data table of all the listed presidents and their ages. So we see that there are 6 presidents that range from 42 to 48. From 48 to 54, we have 11. So I'm going to tally them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do in groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more. From 54 to 60, there are 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. From 60 to 66, there are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And then from 66 to 72, there are 2. All right, so we have completed the frequency data table. Now we need to complete the histogram. Now, going back to the very first part 1, where it told us to turn our paper counterclockwise to identify what is going to be on the bottom. Now, if you were given this graph and there was nothing on it, but you were giving this frequency table, you would be able to determine what is going to be on your horizontal line and what's going to be on your vertical line just by looking at this frequency table. So here it shows us that this is going to be on your horizontal axis, so the x-axis, and this is going to be on your y-axis. So if you're ever not sure about what needs to go on what axis, do your frequency table, turn it counterclockwise, so that means this way, 90 degrees, and it shows you what needs to go on bottom and what needs to go on your y-axis. So looking back at the histogram, let's graph our data. So it has already provided us the titles of both of the axes and the title of the entire graph. But remember, you are responsible for being able to come up with both of those things as well as the title. It has also given us the scale for both the x-axis and the y-axis. So the reason why we're able to do the x-axis this way is because we're grouping them in ages based off of our age groups that our frequency table provided. So we grouped them together in order to be able to do a histogram. Now, on the frequency, we chose 18 based off of the lines. So remember, if there was nothing there, you could start at 0, count how many lines you had, and find a number that is either the same as or larger than your largest frequency that is easily divided by the number of lines. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lines. So we could have used 16, but it would have been very difficult to determine what 16 divided by 6. Our lines would have had to been 2.6 each. So that would have been very difficult to graph. So we saw that 18 is larger than our highest frequency, and it's easily divided into sections based off 6. So it's 3. So we're increasing by 3s all the way to 18. So we're going to go ahead and graph this. Now remember, histograms graph quantitative data. Remember, bar graphs graphed categorical data. So you can tell the difference. We have numbers on the bottom, whereas with our categorical data, we had words on the bottom. And remember that histograms, the bars touch, where with bar graphs, they do not touch. So we're going to go ahead and graph the 48 age to 54. So looking at our frequency table, we have 11. So we're going to go right under 12. So we're going to draw our line up, go right under 12, and we're going to draw our line to 54. On the next one for 54 to 60, we're looking at 16. So we're going to go right above 15, draw it all the way over. Now it's very important that you try to get these lines as straight as possible. Going from 60 to 66, we have 8, so we're right under 9. And then from 66 to 72, we have 2, so we're right under 3. And we are done with our histogram. So now let's look at D. It says, explain the meaning of the first bin of the graph in context of the situation. So that means we are talking about this one right there. So that data says that there are 6 presidents that were inaugurated between the age of 42 and 48. All right, then on E it says, without calculating the median, in which bin would this value be located? Explain how you determine your answer. So this question is a little bit difficult when asked about without calculating the median. If they were asking us to calculate the median, all we would have to take is the total number of data values, which is 43, and divide it by 2 to get 22nd age. But that would be calculating the median. But they want us to do it without calculating the median. So the way that we're going to do this is we know that there are 6 bins. So we have 6 different age groups. So in order for us to find the initial age is 42, and there are 6 president intervals. That means the 6th president is in the first interval, 11 is in the second, and 16 is in the third. So if we add these together, 6 plus 11 plus 16, we get 33. So that means that the 22nd point is found in the third interval, which would be right here. That's the third interval. So we know that our median is going to be located in the center of this based off how many presidents were in this group, how many were in this group, and how many were in this group. Now, if we had a large number in the first group, a large number in the second group, and then small numbers, we may have only been able to add up these two and found that this was the larger, or this was the interval where the median was at. So the median, remember, you're just finding the middle age. So you're going to be finding the very middle of all of the ages combined.